Welcome back to my channel, The Historic State. Before we step into the deceptive calm of an international airport lounge, a place where civility masks lethal intent, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe right now. Your support is the only fuel that keeps these high-stakes stories of invisible protectors and quiet, devastating power trending in and out. Today, we delve into a moment where arrogance met absolute, professional violence, proving that the most lethal operative is often the one you would dismiss without a second thought. We are examining the astonishing story of Mr. Wallace Pierce, a man whose wealth and age gave him an aggressive sense of entitlement, and Ms. Leah Vance, an unassuming woman he perceived as nothing more than a mild inconvenience. Pierce, with all his status, ordered her to move seats. He was dangerously, existentially wrong. When a covert threat emerged from the crowd, it was Leah, the woman he had just scorned, who exploded into action, employing brutal, high-level combat moves that neutralized the threat in seconds. Her actions revealed a past so lethal and so highly classified that it stunned everyone, including the elite naval officer she was sworn to protect. Our scene is the crowded, high-end, first-class lounge at a major international airport, a place where hierarchy is judged not by rank, but by platinum cards and perceived social status. Mr. Wallace Pierce was a figure of extreme wealth. He was loud, he was demanding, and he saw the world as a stage for his own privilege. For Pierce, anyone who was quiet, unremarkable, or simply in his way was an object of disdain. And then there was Ms. Leah Vance. Leah sat quietly near the large windows, working diligently on a simple laptop. Her clothes were functional, her demeanor was reserved, and her presence was intentionally low profile. She was the very definition of a gray person, a master of blending into the background. And Pierce, struggling to find a comfortable seat near a power outlet, spotted Leah's prime corner location. He saw an easily replaceable, insignificant figure blocking his comfort. He approached her with utter contempt. "Excuse me?" Pierce boomed, his voice carrying across the lounge. "I need this space for a business call. You look perfectly capable of finding another seat near the service area. This area is reserved for people who actually conduct business. Move your things, please." Leah simply looked up, met his gaze with an unnervingly calm expression, and replied softly, "Sir, I am occupied. There are other seats available." And Pierce's face tightened with anger. He stepped closer, leaning over her. "Listen, sweetheart. I ordered you to move. I am an important client here. You are just taking up space. Do I need to get the staff to remove your little bag?" Leah simply returned to her laptop, her silence a perfect defense, frustrating Pierce immensely. She maintained her position, but her eyes, now hidden behind the screen, began a slow, deliberate scan of the room. She wasn't ignoring him. She was using him as a shield while she ran a final full sweep of the environment. NTHE tension between Pierce and Leah was instantly eclipsed by a sudden, chilling shift in the lounge's atmosphere. A man, well-dressed, mid-40s, who had been reading a newspaper near the entrance, subtly adjusted his watch. It was a precise, coded signal. Leah's posture instantly changed. The casual ease vanished, replaced by a coiled, absolute stillness. She didn't look at the threat. She was processing the geometry, the sight lines, and the best path to interception. NTHE well-dressed man began moving, not towards Leah or Pierce, but toward a group seated quietly in the far corner. A group that included a distinguished elderly man in a bespoke suit, reading financial papers. This elderly man was Admiral Marcus Thorne, the head of a critical NATO naval task force, traveling covertly. The assassin's move was fast, crossing the room with a practiced, lethal efficiency. His hand dipped inside his coat. Panic instantly began to ripple through the oblivious passengers. And Ambassador Pierce, still standing over Leah and complaining about her refusal to move, suddenly saw the flash of metal. He shrieked, his entitlement dissolving into abject terror. "He has a gun! Security!" Leah Vance did not shout. She did not panic. She reacted not as a startled civilian, but as a weapon discharged. NTHER movements were blinding, economical, and utterly devastating. She didn't reach for a gun. She used the environment. Her right hand swept an oversized, heavy coffee mug off the table, sending it crashing into the assassin's face, momentarily blinding him. Before the man could even register the pain, Leah was airborne. NNSHE executed a move that was not martial arts, but pure close-quarters battle, CQB, a silent, brutal ballet of bone-shattering efficiency, a precise elbow strike to the sternum, followed by a low, tactical sweep that dropped the assassin hard onto the marble floor. She mounted him instantly, securing the weapon with a precise, crushing wrist lock, rendering his gun hand useless. The entire sequence, from the coffee mug strike to the neutralization, took less than 2 seconds. NNTHE lounge went silent. Wallace Pierce stood frozen, his mouth agape, staring at the sight. The woman he had just scorned now pinning a trained operative to the floor, her calm eyes scanning the room for secondary threats. This was not his paper pusher. This was a predator. Leah, her breathing heavy but controlled, yanked the hidden weapon away and tossed it precisely under a steel reception desk. She then delivered a final, concussive blow to the back of the assassin's neck, ensuring total silence. As the local airport police rushed into the lounge, guns drawn, Leah simply stepped off the neutralized threat, brushed the dust from her functional trousers, and walked straight towards the elderly man she had saved. Admiral Marcus Thorne, NATHE Admiral, who had not flinched during the entire brutal encounter, simply closed his financial papers and looked at Leah with a professional, non-committal expression. He stopped dead when he saw Leah nag. "Good God! Vance?" The security officer gasped, recognition and professional reverence flooding his face. "Is that really you, Leah Vance?" NNTHE officer turned to the utterly bewildered Wallace Pierce, whose face was a mixture of shock and profound humiliation. "Mr. Pierce," the security officer stated, his voice ringing with absolute authority, "this is not some random civilian you ordered around. This is Major Leah Vance, retired SEAL Team 6 Security Detachment, a living legend known throughout NATO Command as the Admiral's Shadow. She disappeared off the grid years ago. We assumed she was killed in the field. She is the single most lethal, precise, and highly trained operator in the protection services. And she is the Admiral's personal, highly classified, close protection bodyguard." Wallace Pierce stared at the silent, composed woman, then back at the officer, then back at Leah, his carefully constructed world of self-importance crumbling around him. The unassuming woman he had so casually scorned was a legendary protector, a ghost of lethal efficiency. His humiliation was absolute, his life saved by the very person he had attempted to push aside. No, Leah Vance simply returned to Admiral Thorne's side, adjusting his jacket as if nothing had happened. Her silence now carried the weight of absolute, undeniable power. She had done her job. NNHER's story became an immediate, whispered legend within diplomatic and intelligence circles, a stark, brutal reminder that true strength often operates in silence, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the precise moment to unleash its lethal precision. Leah Vance's quiet brilliance taught everyone in that room a vital, irreversible lesson. Never mistake quietness for weakness. True command is not measured by the volume of your voice or the thickness of your wallet, but by the devastating capability of your action. NNNT thank you for watching The Historic State. If this incredible story of hidden power, shattered arrogance, and a silent hero's precision left you speechless, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us, do you think the quiet people are the most dangerous? Because here, we believe that the most effective weapons are often the ones you never see coming.